Aquarius, thanks for visiting, and if you like this reading, as I always ask you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like to, only if you would like to. I'm just going to get straight on to your reading right now for Aquarius. So the first card you have for your past is Death. Yes, so yeah, I'm seeing a kind of a, yeah, this is like a family situation, and I think this is something that you kind of held on to, and then you decided in the end you couldn't hold on to this anymore. You just couldn't keep this up. This is like death is final. It's like you just had to surrender to this, and you just had to give up on whatever this was. I'm actually seeing you having to move on from someone, and I think, yeah, this person was a little bit different. They were a bit quirky and very different. I also, you know, of course there's nothing wrong with being quirky, that's not the problem. I'm like that, but I'm different, I'm quirky, but yeah, of course, yeah, I think yeah, they were just really difficult. That's what I'm seeing. They were just such a difficult person. I think they might have said horrible things to you. I think they might have said inappropriate things, things that really kind of wound you up and made you kind of crazy, and you couldn't react to them because I think people always kind of saw their side and they didn't see your side. That's what I'm seeing, all of that kind of horrible thing going on in this. And I think, you know, you've always had problems with this person, I think, and I think there was probably some pressure around you to keep on seeing this person or keep on talking to this person. And I think maybe there was some family pressure, I think, because I think you really felt for a long time obliged to speak to them, obliged to see them. Because I think maybe someone a lot older, an older family member, maybe a grandparent or something like that, might have liked to have seen all the family together being all happy or something like that. And everyone was like, oh yes, everyone come together to be all nice and happy and whatever. But it actually wasn't really like that. And I think for a long time you might have been pretending, to get along and everything. You might have been kind of tolerating them for someone else's sake. But I think someone might have just said to you, yeah, I think this person just said something that was just a bit too much. It kind of went over the line. I think that's what happened. This person just said something that was just completely over the line. It just went over the line for you. And I think this just made it impossible for you to keep on seeing this person. You just could not anymore after that. It was something quite bad, something that was like, there is no way that you could pretend it was fine or brush that under the carpet, or even, you know, it was just something absolutely unbelievable. So I think I think this was just like, it was inevitable after this. The death card is inevitable. You just had to not see them. And I think, you know, yeah, there was only so much you could keep on tolerating, and this was just the last straw, and that was it. So yeah, you just had to let this go, and I think you just could not be around this person. I think when they went to something, you weren't there, and you found out whether they're going to be there or not before you actually went there. And I think even people might have even tried to ask you questions about this person or tell you about this person, and you said to them, I don't want to talk about this person. If you want to say anything about this person, do not say it to me. If you want to say anything about me, do not say it to them. I do not want to hear about this person. They are erased from my life. It was that serious. This is very serious. And you know, this is very sad. I mean, sometimes people say, oh, families are there forever, you should never do that. But you know, sometimes I think people who say that have never dealt with someone like this. I think if you're the sort of person who says, oh, you should stick to family no matter what, never ever leave your family, yeah, of course you should always stick with your family, but again, people who say that have not experienced something this extreme. If you've experienced something as extreme as this, then yes, you do not need to be around this person for your own peace of mind, for your own mental health. You cannot deal with someone who does something, and there are extreme circumstances, and where you should not be seeing people in your family. And I can think of many, many things. I'm not going to talk about this here, but yeah, there are instances that are beyond the pale, and there's no way you can forgive people for certain things, very serious, big things I'm talking about. I'm not talking about little things, I'm talking about quite big things. So I'll move on from that. The next card you have for your past is the Eight of Pentacles. So I think someone else was actually feeling that you were distancing yourself from them in this card. Now, I think this might have been a love connection, and I think you were around them, but your mind wasn't around them. It's like your mind was wandering off. This person can be quite a forceful person. They can be quite a difficult person. Not that they're a difficult person in the way that they're like this other person. No one is like this other person, but it's like they can be quite overbearing, and I think they think that everyone has to listen to them and what they say is right. And they can talk on, and they expect everyone to be fascinated and hanging on their every word. That's what I'm seeing. I know I sound horrible and negative, don't I? But this is what I'm seeing. I can't help it. So, yeah, I think this person was talking to you, and it was like they were talking at you, actually. They were talking on and on and on and on, and you were kind of listening in the first bit of what they were saying, but then you just got so tired and you just weren't listening. And your mind was thinking about everything else apart from them. It was thinking, what am I going to have for dinner? It was thinking, what movie am I going to watch? And it was thinking, what's the best song I can think of? And you're kind of singing the song in your head. You're going through every instrument in the song, and you're going through the bass and the track and the this and anything but listen to this person. It was just like, oh. So, yeah, I think you do still care about this person, even though they're very, very, very difficult. And yeah, you just weren't listening to them. You just were not listening to them. Now, you had a lot on your mind, you're a bit tired, but it wasn't for that reason. It was just because I think these conversations with this person can just be too much for you. And I think if they are someone that you were in a relationship, I think you were really kind of coming to the realization, I think you knew this really, but I think you're really starting to think about the fact that you really weren't connecting on a deep level with this person. You really weren't. Now, I'm not seeing that there's a problem with you. I don't think it's your fault. I don't think they're well, I wouldn't say bad person, but they're an annoying person, and they're a very self-centered person. And I don't think they mean it. I don't think they know that that's what they're doing, but that's what they're like. So I think maybe they do know, I don't know, but yeah, I just think yeah, there was a big problem here, obviously, and I don't think you could keep on dealing with this for much longer. I think you were willing to do that for a while, but I think sooner or later I don't think you could stick to someone like this. I know this is sounding so negative so far, this reading. I don't mean it to, I really don't. The last card you have for your past is the Four of Cups. So yeah, I think you are in a relationship, but I think, or you were at this time, but there's this big disconnect I'm seeing, this great big disconnect. Yeah, there is some love there, there is, and I think there is some care there, and I think you were around each other at this time. But I'm just getting this feeling of feeling forced to listen instead of feeling that it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to make this interesting and I'm just going to talk a little bit about this so it's not too boring. And then I'm going to include them in the conversation. I'm going to ask them what they think, then I'm going to ask for their opinion, and it's going to go like that. It wasn't like that at all. It was like they were just yak, 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 on and on and on. And they did not care what your needs were. They didn't care if you were interested, they didn't care if you weren't, they didn't care if you liked the subject, they didn't care what your opinion was. They could have been talking to themselves, and they probably would have been happy to talk to themselves because, you know, nobody would be kind of walking off or bored. But, you know, they just were on and on and on and on. And, you know, a conversation is about taking turns. It's about exchanging ideas. It's like you say something and the other person listens. Then they say something and you listen. And you kind of talk about, and the conversation progresses. It goes from one thing and that leads them to think about something else. And that's going by what you've said, and on and on and on. It kind of grows. And your conversation is kind of running off each other, if that makes sense. But that's not what was happening here. This was completely a one-way thing. And they just weren't interested in what you were thinking, and they just didn't care. That's what I'm seeing. They're just this very self-absorbed person. I don't think they're aware of it, really. So if this resonates, and this is someone who you are in a relationship with, yeah, I won't say poor you. I nearly said poor you. But yeah, think about whether you're thought of as an equal in this relationship. Because I think if someone's like that, you really can't be. You can't be an equal. And I'm getting this feeling that, you know, you might be there to just kind of sit around in the background nodding or agreeing with whoever this is. But, you know, that's not who you are. That's not who you are. And I think you might have gradually become this person, but that's not who you truly are. So your opinion needs to be heard. You are a person in your own right. You have an opinion. You have something to say. You have a say in who you listen to and what you talk about. Just remember that. And I think you used to be like that, but I think this person might have kind of ground you down a bit, actually. The first card you have for your present is the Hanged Man. So yeah, again, someone might be taking your mild nature as a kind of a weakness, actually. Now, and I think this person thinks their opinion is the only opinion. And I think you're obviously not very happy being in this situation. So yeah, if this whole thing is resonating with you, really you're just not happy. I can see that you're just not happy. And I think, you know, you do need to do something eventually. You do need to act on this. You really do. But, you know, this is the Hanged Man. So I don't think you are acting at this time. You're not doing anything. You're not saying much about this. But you are thinking about this. You are thinking, you're planning. You're thinking about what you're going to do. And I think you are going to eventually say something, or some action is going to be taken on this, but not at this time. I think there might actually be something that you're waiting to be over before you actually do anything about this problem. I think there might be some kind of, maybe there's an event, or maybe there's something like that, and you might not want to ruin the event by kind of bringing this up around that. But whatever this is, you're waiting until this is over, I think, until you do something about this. I am actually seeing fight or flight. So it's not going to happen now because you're not ready to have this conversation. But when you do, I think eventually it's going to be fight or flight with this person, or it's going to be both. It's going to be a fight and then a flight. That's what I'm seeing. I'm sorry, this is so negative. I can't help it. And yeah, I think you'll probably want to talk to them. I'm not seeing you just walking off. I think, you know, you're a fair person. I think you're going to want to have this conversation with them. But when you do, there are going to be fights. And then I think one or both of you are probably going to decide to be on your own. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your present is the Queen of Wands. So I think this card might be showing you or telling you to have some confidence in yourself. I think you do still have some confidence, but I think you used to have a lot more confidence than you do now. And I think maybe this person gradually eroded your confidence, because I think you used to feel as if you could just come out and say things without worrying about it. But I think now you probably think twice, 3 times, 4 times, whatever, before you say anything, because you're worried about the reaction to it, I think. But I think, you know, if you're around someone who's supposed to care about you, you should be feeling relaxed. You should be able to say whatever is on your mind without being stressed about them. You know, this Queen's very confident. She's optimistic as well. She can also be an extrovert, this Queen. So I'm not seeing you as an extrovert. I don't think you ever have been. But you did used to be a lot more talkative. You were a lot more confident. and talking a lot more than you are now, definitely. So if this resonates, I think you are going to have to try to get your confidence back at some time. You're going to have to try to get yourself back. And again, this might mean being on your own, away from this person. It might be a good idea to, if this is all big and scary and you're not ready to kind of do this yet, because I'm seeing that in the Hanged Man, you might want to just temporarily take some time away from them, just to start with. Just let yourself be by yourself, and just let yourself feel the difference between how you feel when you're around them and how you feel when you're away from them. Just get some time away and just think about how you feel. Do you feel happy? Do you feel relieved? Do you feel like you can do whatever you like? Do you feel like you can eat what you want to eat, watch what you want, do what you want to do, put your feet up, wear pajamas? Are all these things something that you can't normally do in your own home because you have an overbearing person? Maybe it's not that, but just have a good think. I mean, I think this little time by yourself is going to help you to compare the two situations, when you're with them and when you're not. That's what I'm seeing. So the last card you have for your present is the King of Cups. So yeah, I think, you know, obviously you're still feeling a lot of these heavy emotions, these kind of waves of emotion, but I think you're trying to keep a lid on them. I think you're trying to keep as much of a lid on your emotions as you possibly can. Like this king, you know, he's sitting on top of this wavy sea, but his throne is kind of sitting on a stone slab, so he's not letting any of that waves, any of the emotion kind of come up and reach him or show to anyone else. Yeah, he's trying to keep his emotions hidden. And I think you might be waiting again. I think you might be waiting for this event to be over and out of the way before you actually do anything about this person. It might actually be a wedding, or it might be an important party or something like that. And you kind of don't want to make a scene or show up or have bad feeling or be moping around or anything at this kind of thing. Yeah, I know this is going to be difficult when you go to this event, and you'll probably have to do even more kind of smiling and nodding at people and get yourself through this. But when this is over, I think you are going to have a talk. And you know, if this is something like a wedding, obviously you don't want to turn the attention on you or cause a problem. But even if it's any kind of party, you don't want to kind of throw kind of problems into it and start kind of drama. But yeah, once this is all over, I'm seeing that you are going to do something about this. You're going to do something. The first card you have for your future is the Nine of Wands. So yeah, I think this is probably when you're going to very, very slowly start to get your confidence back. Very, very slowly. A bit like the man on this card. I mean, he doesn't want to come out from behind this wall of wands that he's made for himself. He probably feels safer behind them. He probably wants to stay there forever, but no, he knows that he has to come out, even though he's a bit shy, a bit scared. So yeah, you might not be feeling all that confident at this time, but I think you'll see that you're a lot stronger than you thought you were. And I think, confident or not, this is the time you're just going to have to come forward and do something about this. So I'm actually seeing there's a new way that you're going to tackle this relationship problem. I don't know if this is going to make sense to you, but this is something completely different. This is like a new approach that you're going to have. And I think you're going to be quite forceful about this, but I think this approach is going to be really, really different. And I think you've had a lot of time to think about this, how you're going to approach this, how you're going to talk to them. And you know, you were hiding your emotions for a long time. You were thinking about how you're going to do this very carefully in the Hanged Man and the King of Cups. And I think what you're going to say to them, what you have to say to them, and the way that you're going to say it to them is going to really, really give them a huge surprise and a shock. They'll be like, what? What did they... what? It's going to be like that. They won't be used to you saying what you're saying. They won't be used to you standing up for yourself. They won't be used to you thinking in this new way. And they won't be used to you speaking in this way. It's going to really, really shock them. I'm not saying you're yelling or screaming. I'm just saying that this is going to be very different, and they really won't be expecting this. They really will not be ready for what you have to say and the way you have to say it. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your future is the Knight of Wands. So yeah, just about all this reading I know has been about this love situation, and this is what I'm seeing. So this is, if it's not for you, it's not for you, but it is for someone who has not been heard. They've had their confidence squashed and they're ready to come out again. And this is for them. This is for that person. If it's you, this is for you. This is for whoever needs to hear this. Someone does need to hear this. So yeah, this is you. You're really going to start to come forward now. You're going to start to come forward quite quickly, and you're going to say what you need to say in this different way, in this new way. And this is going to be some way that they're really not used to seeing or hearing. It's going to be quite shocking for them. Again, again, I hope this isn't negative. Well, I think it just has to be. This is just the way this is. I think this reading, you know, I think the Knight of Wands is known for being in and out quickly. In, out, in any situation, especially in a love situation. So you might have your say forcefully. There might be a fight after this or an argument, and it might, I think out of this, one or both of you are going to just go your separate ways for a while. There is going to be some kind of a separation, I think, and you will come back together again. You probably will, just to talk or to kind of sort things out or whatever, but eventually you are going to separate for good, I think. That's what I'm seeing. This all sounds so blunt and horrible, like I'm being horrible to you and I'm being horrible to the cross watchers. I'm not. I don't mean to. I'm just seeing this. This is what I'm seeing. So the last card you have for your future is the Hermit. So yeah, the Hermit's by himself. So being by yourself and thinking about how it feels to be by yourself, because I don't think you've felt that way for a long time. You haven't been in your own thoughts. And just kind of, you know, you're just going to be letting yourself be yourself. And this is going to feel like an amazing luxury to you to be able to do this, to just be by yourself, do whatever you like, eat whatever you like, think whatever you like, say whatever you like. It's going to be amazing, and this is going to really help you to start to grow again. And I think for a long time the words in your head might have been taken over by someone else's words. You could have even been thinking other people's words in your head, and they could have been coming out of your mouth. That's how serious it is. So yeah, I think you're going to be able to get yourself back again. It's going to take some time, I think, and also there's going to be a lot of pain in this. Pain comes with any kind of separation, even if you're the one that's doing the kind of separating, or if you're the one that's not happy with the other person, it's still painful. It's painful for everyone. But, you know, again, you're going to start growing, and you're just going to, at this time, you're just going to be sitting with yourself for a while. You're going to be sitting with yourself in peace. And you're going to start to get used to listening to yourself again. You're going to start to get used to listening to what you want, what your likes are, what your dislikes are, what music you like, what things you like, what movies you like, what colours you like, everything you like. It's going to be what you like. And this is going to gradually come back to you again, and your confidence is gradually going to come back to you again as well. So Aquarius, I won't say I hope this resonated. It probably only resonated with a few people. But as you know, general readings can't always resonate with everyone. So, but again, if you like this reading, please like, please subscribe, leave a comment if you would like to. And thank you so much for watching.